scandals that so many priests have done, and bishops too. It's terrible. This is some good news. There was a young woman coming back from university, and she had a Mercedes, and she had an accident, and her car was totally crushed, and she was crushed in it. And the emergency workers in the car was tipped over, and the emergency, she was able to talk, and she was conscious, but they were testing her blood pressure was going down and down, and they tried to get her out, and they couldn't get her out of the car. And then they said, well, we have to risk, when you move someone in such critical condition, moving the car can cause that little extra for them to die. But they figured they had to do that. Then the young woman said, I need someone to pray with me. And at that instant, a priest came out, and they said that they had blocked the traffic something like way far back, saying I read 2 miles back, and they have no idea where this priest came from. And he came out, and he said, I'll pray with her. And actually knelt down, and they knelt down, the people around knelt down and prayed, and then they moved the car, and she didn't die, and they got her out eventually. And so then everyone wanted to find, where is this priest? And he disappeared. And so like on the news, as I look at Fox News on the internet, just quickly, don't want too much bad stuff to go in me. But anyway, and they had the article, and they're going, priest or angel, and they're trying to find out. They had someone do a drawing from, and then they had taken a lot of pictures of what was going on, and in no picture does he show up. But the thing is talking about, here's someone who, whether it's an angel from God or whether it was really a priest, who took time to go and help a woman, and they feel that that prayer of the priest saved that young woman's life. We read in the epistle of Paul to the Corinthians how that the law that was given to us, the 10 Commandments by Moses, God gave it to Moses, that it condemned the Jews because they couldn't live up to it. And they needed something better than that. They needed the Spirit of God to help them live the law. Many people say, oh, we don't have to go by any laws anymore. That's the Old Testament. Because Paul writes quite a lot saying, oh, the law kills, the Spirit is what gives life, and we don't need the letter kills, and we don't need laws anymore. No. Right off we see that that's false, and the Protestants teach that a lot. They just go, no, you just believe in Jesus Christ, and you can do whatever you want, and you're going to be saved. But we see that Jesus, right off, when this lawyer tests him, he says, this young lawyer says, what do I have to do to be saved? And those are very important questions we need to ask every day. God, what do I need to do to be saved? So I don't go to hell. Saved from hell. And does Jesus bring up? He says, what is the most important law? So laws are important. And he repeats, the Lord says, love God, your heart, soul, mind, and being. And how important that is that we work on that every day to really love God with everything. Sad to say, we love him so little. He gets the last place always. Really, I do, all of you, we have to be honest. We put ourselves first. We love ourselves so much. We don't want this, and we want that. It's all about us. And then it's like, well, whatever else, and then we'll give a little bit to God. But if I love him with my whole soul, heart, mind, and being, I'm going to give a lot to him. I'm going to be very generous, and I'm going to put him first in my life. And then the second law is to love your neighbor. Now, laws can be bad. Like we have laws that allow people to protect people while they're killing the babies in the womb. There's slaughtering of babies all over the world that are allowed and legally allowed to massacre all these babies in the womb. That's a bad law. Laws are to protect. There should be laws to protect the child in the womb, not laws that give rights to women to destroy the child in their womb. The same thing with marriage. Laws federal laws used to protect marriage between a man and woman, but now they've taken that away, and now they're making new laws for men and men to marry, women and women to marry. And they can't, because marriage is for having children. They can't have children. And for loving and supporting husband and wife. But laws also are to protect what's good. Like in the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass, there's this Tridentine Mass, or the Mass of all ages. There's a lot of laws, but there also is in the Novus Ordo Mass. You have to do this, you have to do that. What's the whole purpose? Is it just to get up and do everything perfectly? No, the purpose is to keep the mystery of God present in this holy sacrifice of the Mass, to make it where it's holy for Him, to protect Him and the host and the precious blood, to protect Him. So all laws are for the good of protecting the sacredness of the holy sacrifice of the Mass and protecting the real presence of Jesus Christ in His body and blood. So laws are wonderful if they are for something good. But if we're just in all the little acts and all that, and that's all, we never even think why we do what we do, then that's not balanced. Now, then the lawyer said to Jesus, trying to get out of having to love God with his whole heart, soul, mind, and being, and having to love his neighbor, he goes, "Who's my neighbor?" And Jesus tells about this man who was walking from Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem is the major city of Israel, and more than likely where he's preaching right now, Jesus, and he's walking to Jericho. And Jericho is probably like a half hour down from Jerusalem. Jerusalem's way up on the mountain. And he's walking down, and he gets these robbers. They strip him of his clothes, and they beat him and leave him half dead. And so first, the Levite goes by, and he is of the holy order of the Jewish people, Levites, and he ignores him, goes on his way. And here's this person dying. Then the priest comes by. You hear about the high priest, the Levites, the Pharisees, the scribes. This is what Jesus was. And they see the man, he sees the man, and he goes on the other side and goes down. But then comes a Samaritan who is not a good Jewish person. He has a Jewish belief, but he's not, they're off balance on their Jewish belief. But he has compassion on the man who is dying from the robbers. Who is this man? First, we need to look at it as anyone who needs help. If we really see people who need help, but I do never give money to people who are begging for money. Where I came from in Escalon and Ripon, it was very rare, but here all the time people are asking at gas stations. One guy asked for stuff, said he was hungry and thirsty. So I did. That guy didn't ask for money. I went in and I gave him food. Because that's all right. I wanted food. I went to this Circle K place and got some food. And he actually accepted it and ate it. And so, that's one thing. But this robber never did anything wrong. Most alcoholics and drug addicts have done somewhere at the beginning of their addiction, they were responsible for it. The best thing we can help for them is to get them into a program. Not give them money so they can continue to abuse alcohol and drugs and hurt themselves. We're not helping them. We're hurting them. We want to help this person who's beaten them. But there are many other people who aren't. They're broken down, or that need a ride, or they're doing their best and they're saving their money. They're trying. They still need help. We need to help those people, and especially visiting the sick. It's very important too. Then another thing is God's people. When Jesus came, the Jewish authorities were not taking care of the beaten up, massive amount of people at that time. And Jesus going, you're leaving them dying. You're not helping them spiritually. And then for us, we look at a person who's in sin, and the robbers are the devil. So anytime you do a mortal sin, the devil has robbed you of God's life in you, and you're dying spiritually. And so we need to reach out to people who are dying spiritually as well, because with offering them, have you thought about going to confession? Here's a little examination of conscience. Maybe sometimes just a little pamphlet how to go to confession, because sometimes people are nervous. Or they may say, I can't go to confession because I'm not married in church. Well, can I help you to, I'll try to find out what it takes. I'll see if I can make an appointment for you with the priest. I will see what I can do to help you if people are in any kind of sin. We need to do it lovingly, but we still need to do it. Otherwise, we're leaving them dying at the hands of the devil, who continues to beat them up and destroy their life. We are responsible. And we do the best we can. We can try, sometimes you, and I'm sure many of you experiences that I have, you try to help people spiritually, and they hate you for it. They get angry. I actually, last Saturday or Sunday, I was talking to one of my brothers who's divorced and living with another woman, and anyway, I told him, and he did not like it. I said, you're going to hell if you don't convert. Well, he did. This is me. You told me I'm going to hell. And another adopted brother goes, I put on my blog that you have to be a saint to get into heaven. He put a comment, he goes, where in the Bible does it say you have to be a saint to get into heaven? And he goes to a Protestant church now. Okay? Of course, people don't like it. They're not going to like it, and they're going to inflict. And it's really the devil who's destroying them, who, when you try to get them, rescue them from, as they're dying spiritually, you will be beaten up too by the devil. We have to be ready for it. It wasn't easy for the Samaritan to stop. He was in a rush too. He had things to do. Stop, put oil and wine on the wounds of the person, put him on his donkey, carry him to an inn, sacrifice his money to pay for him to stay there and to eat. It costs. So when we do this, it will cost us. When you help other people, it costs. But that's all right, because our job, that's what Jesus is saying. If we love our neighbors ourselves, it's going to cost. Another example is the body of the church today, right now. The church is bleeding terribly. Everybody's leaving the church. They're going and becoming Protestants. All the modernism has come into the church. The church is not in good shape, if any of you know. Look at my own family. Only my brother and my parents are the only good Catholics left in my whole family. So we know things are not good in the church either. And so we, by being holy and bringing up and praying, I think very important, again, for the people that are friends and families that are in sin or away from the church, we pray for them first, then we try to help them and say things, but remember, it will cost them. Maybe someday they'll, oh, you told me that. But it's the same thing for the church. We need to pray for the church as you are, and the holy sacrifice of the Latin Mass is a very powerful, what you're doing today. If you do it with faith, we are going to do a lot of harm to the enemy who's beating up the church, which is the devil. And we're doing a lot of good. We're giving a blood transfusion back into the church by our prayers and our faith. But also, we need to be the ones that are willing to teach other people about the holy sacrifice of the Mass, in Latin, the exorcism of holy water, exorcisms that are done in the Latin baptism of children. All these things we can help the body of Christ, because the body of Christ is both divine, but it's also human. We are part of the body of Christ. So we can do our part too, and we need to. And thank God for you doing your part. I just got an email. There's some young men that are involved in Judaism, and what they do is it's for youth. Maybe some of you at World Youth Day, they try to bring the Latin Mass to the World Youth Day, and they're here at a conference. They're all from these Ivy League universities, like Harvard and Yale and stuff, and they're trying to do their part. They happen to be on some other conference for their schooling, but they're going to come here probably on Thursday, and they really care. And so how exciting it is, and how you can do, each one of us can do something for the beaten up, bleeding body of Christ. And again, I say it's our prayers, sacrifices, and what we can do, the little things we talk about. And it will cost. It will cost. People will criticize you, they will hate you, they will ostracize you, they'll call you extreme, they'll do all sorts of things to you. But you're there to help. And that's what matters to me. Again, God is like, wow, thank you. Thank you. You didn't think God was looking at the Samaritan man that helped that beaten, dying man on the road? Of course, God was so pleased. And God was with him. And God is with us. When we watch us, let's